Hello guys and welcome back to Always on the Ball for this video. This is my AFL Finals Series predictions for 2024. As you've probably noticed, it's been a while since I've uploaded a football video, but I did go to Europe for a lengthy amount of time, so that was the main reason why. It's a bit hard to make videos while I was on the other side of the world. And I've just been trying to get back into it. But hopefully I will do tips videos for the finals and start with this predictions videos. So on the first week of finals, the qualifying final one, well it's actually two, but it's the first one. Adelaide Oval, Thursday night, Port Adelaide Geelong. It should be a pretty good game. Second and third, but given it's at the Adelaide Oval, you would think Port would be the favourites. So I reckon I'll tip Port Adelaide by 21. Next game, elimination final 1, is at the MCG on the Friday night. Hawks finished 7th, stormed home. Bulldogs finished 6th. Yeah, they both teams did pretty well, coming off a win. This should be a pretty close game, but the Hawks have had an amazing second half to the season. I feel like they can beat anyone on their day, so I'm going to tip the Hawks by 10. In the second qualifying final, it's at the SCG, Sydney versus GWS. This should be a pretty good game. These two teams always tend to play in finals, so I reckon I'm going to tip Sydney in a close one by 3. And then the final game for week 1 of finals, now I'm not trying to cover this too much because I have my tips video, is Brisbane v Carlton at the Gabba. Carlton just snuck in after losing to St Kilda and then getting Port Adelaide won to get them in. Brisbane, they had a pretty good second half of the season. Now, this is at the Gabba, so I reckon I'll go Brisbane by 27. And now, we're on to my predictions, finals week 2, so these games might happen, they might not. Semi-final 1, I'm going to say it's the Friday night at the MCG. Geelong versus Hawthorn. Now, this is a massive game. I reckon they'll get 90,000 at the G. Easter Monday rivals. This should be a pretty good game. Geelong are pretty good, but it's not a GMHBA, so wouldn't be so sure. So, well, it probably won't be, given it's another Victorian team. I'm going to tip Geelong by 13. Then the second semi-final, we've got GWS and Brisbane at NG Stadium. Now, this is 4th versus 5th, so it should be a pretty even matchup. GWS lost to the Bulldogs, but had a pretty good season. And then the Lions, well, they didn't start off great, but then come home strong to finish 5th and make finals for like the 6th year in a row. I'm going to tip Brisbane by 8, I reckon. Now, here's where things get serious, and I'll probably go more in depth into the game. So, finals week 3, preliminary final 1. I'm going to say it's going to be at the Adelaide Oval Friday night. Port Adelaide versus Brisbane. But this should be a relatively close game. Port Adelaide, yeah, they're obviously been pretty good throughout the season, coming off a win in the last round, and it's at the Adelaide Oval where they play pretty well, and I'm going to say they would have beat Geelong in the qualifying final. Brisbane, they beat Carlton. My prediction is them to beat Carlton, then beat GWS away. So both teams play pretty well and could make the grand final. Now, I reckon this will be a pretty close game, pretty low scoring, but I reckon the Power will get up, winning by 4 points. Now, preliminary final 2. Swans versus Cats, SCG on the Saturday afternoon. Now, this is going to be a massive game, I reckon. Now, at the SCG. Sydney, they've been unstoppable most of the season. They had a bit of a shaky patch in the middle of the mid to late of the season, but they've still been pretty consistent all year round and looks like the premiership favourites. And at the SCG, you would expect a big crowd. It's a prelim, they could make the grand final. Rematch of the 2022 grand final. This is the Cats. Well, they had a very good second half to the season, including beating West Coast by 93 points in round 24. So this could go either way, but Swans, they really deserve to be in the grand final. They've been good all season, apart from a couple of rounds. So I think the Swans will win this game by 18, getting them through to the AFL grand final. Now, this would be a big game. Two non-Victorian clubs for the first time since, I think, 2006 when it was Sydney West Coast. So, long time. They'll still sell it out because if you can go to a grand final, why wouldn't you? But this would be really interesting. Sydney, Port Adelaide, two sides at the start of the season you probably wouldn't have thought would be in the grand final. Everyone was saying Brisbane, Collingwood, or somewhat everyone was thinking Brisbane or Collingwood basically to win the premiership. But obviously Collingwood didn't have a great season. So at quarter time, I reckon pretty inaccurate first quarter. I reckon the Swans will be trailing by 7 points at quarter time. At half time, pretty even quarter. 47-51, Swans are a bit behind, Port Adelaide just in front, and I reckon better players will be Butters, Rosie, Goulden, Chad Warner, all of those sorts of players. I reckon Todd Marshall's kicked a few. 3-quarter time now, the Swans just edged in front, winning the quarter, 74-71, so very close. Now we get into the last quarter, and I reckon the Swans are going to win by 3 points, 14-9-93 to 13-12-90, meaning the Swans are AFL premiers, which is it's a pretty popular opinion. They've been good all season. They deserve it. They've had some of the best players. They have quite a few in the All-Australian. So I think they really deserve to be in the grand final, and I think they also deserve to win it, not winning it since 2005, I think, was when they won it. Oh, no, wait. No, they won it in 2012. They've made a couple of grand finals since, though, with 2014 and 2016 and 2022. 2022, that was just sad for the Swans. So I reckon they'll be premiers. With the awards, I reckon Chad Warner will win the Norm Smith. He's had an absolutely superb season. It's been a real breakout for the Swans and is probably going to make the All-Australian team. So I reckon he'll have a pretty good day, 30 touches and a goal or 2 goals, something like that. Brownlow, I'm going to say Paddy Cripps. Everyone at the start of the season thought he would win it. There was no way he wouldn't, but he got suspended against the Saints, and I reckon Cripps has been very good in the last bit of the season anyway, and probably helped the Blues make it to finals. I know they had a bit of a down period in the last third of the season, but he played very well for the rest of the season, so I reckon Patrick Cripps takes out the Brownlow medal. The player of the finals, I reckon, will be Zach Butters, helping get Port Adelaide all the way to the grand final, and probably runner-up in the Norm Smith on grand final day. So those are my predictions. Thanks for watching Eyes on the Ball. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and see you for more AFL videos.